Hey gang, Tony here. Look at this. You and me. Gonna look through some flea market finds, some yard sale finds. Had a decent weekend. I kind of went through everything and checked out prices. Nothing here is like mind-blowingly expensive, but all kind of cool stuff, I think. A lot of it I bought just for myself. There are a couple of things here that I might end up wanting to sell. But yeah, it was a pretty decent weekend. I haven't really been, you guys know, I haven't really been going out like in earnest. I'm not really like spending a ton of time doing this. Some Sundays, Mike and I, sometimes my parents will come too. Today they came. We'll just hit the flea market and see what's happening. So let me start with, well, I'll start with what's right in front of me, and probably maybe the least interesting thing for most of you. Some VHS tapes that were like recorded tapes, and every once in a while I'll go ahead and I'll buy some of these. I offered the guy, like, I really didn't want to pay a lot because I kind of know, like, I'm going to check what's on these and it's not going to be that interesting, and then I'll just not want them anymore. But I offered 4 for $1, so a quarter each. And he actually ended up, I asked if he had a bag, and he didn't, and he ended up giving me a duffel bag to put them in, so I kind of got a free duffel bag out of the deal, too. The only one on here that I can read, the only one out of these that I can read, is this one that says Monica's Cooking for $17.97. So we know it's from 1997, and we know Monica's Cooking. Who Monica is, what she's cooking, is it a TV show? Is it someone at home being filmed by a family member? I don't know any of this. I'm going to have to pop it in the old VCR and check it out. If it's interesting enough, I may go ahead and digitize it. What do you say about that, you guys? The other two, no idea. No idea, because they are written in Hindi, maybe? I don't know. You tell me. Is that Hindi? I think. So I don't know what they say, obviously, and yeah, it just has more of the same writing there. It could be just stuff that they taped off TV, probably is what that is. Oh, you know what? I just thought of this. I always forget that Google has that like translate thing on their phone, on the camera. I could check that out. Let's see if we can figure out what this says and maybe have a slightly better idea of what's going on. How do we get to translate, though? There's like a special setting that you have to go to. I always forget where to find this. Translate. Translate? Oh, Google Lens. That's what does it. Okay. Alright, let's check this out. Search with my camera and translate. Detect language. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what this. Start with the one. That one. I don't even know which way is like right side up, to be honest, so I don't know if this is going to work because of that. Oh, it's Arabic. Okay, so it's Arabic, not Hindi. And this one, the first one says, oh, you're not going to be able to see that, are you? He saw nothing. So, this one says he saw nothing. Oh boy. I wonder if that's a movie or not. And this one, let's see here. Okay, this one says the movie Fika Alam by Abdel Halim Hafaz, Abdel Salam Al Tabli, Abdel Manaha, a film directed and produced by Fatin Abdel. There's just it's a bunch of like information about. So, okay, so it's the movie Fika Alam. All right, so it's a movie. That's a little disappointing. The other one's probably also a movie. See if this says anything different here. Oh. Oh no. That one is not working out as well. It's giving me like the old saying like we are Armenian dreams. I don't know. This side, the side of we. Yeah, this one is not. That's not helping out. Okay, well, you got the idea. And I just spent like 5 minutes translating stuff on VHS tapes. So I'll check them out. See if there's anything worth digitizing there. I did get a couple of other VHS tapes. This one is. This was also a quarter. This was the fourth one that I did for a quarter. It is 100 Years of Disney Magic. It actually, on the one side, well, it used to be a mailing label, I suppose. I think these were like promotional videos that they would send to families. Maybe you had to send away for them. I'm not really sure. That would be for vacation. So like you'd see Walt Disney World and everything. So inside the shipping box is another box that actually opens up like this, and then you can see there's like a pamphlet in here with everything you need to plan the vacation of a lifetime. Oh yeah. And it's got all kinds of stuff in there. I mean, it's a big thick packet of information and all kinds of like, you know, inserts and whatnot, which I thought was kind of cool. I mean, and obviously there's the videotape is in there to watch. This year we're celebrating Walt Disney's 100th birthday and the legacy of magic he left. So I don't know when that would have been. What year would that have been? Maybe in the late 90s? I'm not really sure. I mean, it's still... It was... Oh, wait. Has this got a date on it? 2002. Okay. Still doing VHS tapes in 2002? Yeah, I guess. Huh, anyway, I thought that was kind of an interesting little find. And not worth much. I looked it up. It's like maybe a $5 thing. And then this is the coolest of the VHS tapes. Also not worth a ton of money or anything. Maybe $15, maybe $20. But certainly what I thought was the coolest one. I don't find horror movies on VHS out in the wild very often, so this was exciting to find. Paid $1 for it. Pulse. I don't think I've ever seen it either. Doesn't sound all that familiar to me. This is from, when is this from? This is from a date that I am not sure of, because it doesn't... 1988, maybe? There was a 1988 date there, but I don't know if that was for the movie release date or not. So those are all of the VHS tapes. Next up, what do we got? I guess I'll show you the records. I got a ton of records. This one just sounded cool. It was $1. And I thought it was neat that it was like for promo use only. But it is Lollipop by Mentally Disturbed. For promo use only. And it has 6 songs, 3 songs per side. Lick It Club Mix, Do It Club Mix, Acapella, Virgin Mix, Radio Edit, and TV Track. I don't know what the fuck this is, I'll be honest. But like I said, it just sounded neat. It's from the 90s. It's from 95. I'm like, it might be cool. So, picked it up. Again, not like, you know, not like worth any serious money. I forget what, maybe again, $10, $15, something like that. So then, I saw a stack of 45s, which is pretty common to see at flea markets and yard sales. There are always tons of 45s everywhere, and sometimes I'll flip through them thinking maybe I'll find like a Halloween record or something. I was flipping through this particular stack, and I saw a couple of sort of interesting things. And he wanted $1 each, and I found like I had up to about 3. I'm like, there are 3 that I think I was going to buy, so it's going to be $3. And then the guy goes, you know what? If you want the whole stack, just take them for $5. I was like, well, I was going to pay $3 for 3, $5 for 41 records. I was like, okay, I guess I will, because it was only $2 more than I was going to be paying anyway. And that comes to 12 cents a record. Now, again, this kind of stuff is pretty common to find. I don't know, I imagine there must be like expensive ones, but I've never come across one and looked it up and it's like, oh my god, it's worth $100. These are worth like anywhere from $2 to, like, I think the most expensive one in here is maybe like $15 or something like that. It's still a crazy deal, but a lot of it's not stuff that I necessarily care about. There were a handful of loose records. This one on top was like a Christmas thing, and on the back we got Billy Vera and the Beaters. And you know, I'm not going to show you every single. There's 41, right? I'm not going to show you every single record. You're already probably pretty bored with the video as it is, with me translating VHS tapes and whatnot. But I'll show you, you know, again, I'll show you some of the more interesting ones. One of the reasons that I was digging this particular stack was because there's a lot of 80s stuff in there. So like right off the top here, we got La Bamba, Los Lobos, right? We got Cutting Crew, I Just Died in Your Arms, Hold Me Now, You Keep Me Hanging On, Phil Collins, from the movie White Nights, Straight from the Heart, Bonnie Tyler, Corey Hart. This one is actually kind of funny. They it's all eaten up. I mean, you can see it's all chewed up there, and like it's in the record itself is in terrible condition. But this actually unfolds into a poster of Corey Hart, which was kind of interesting. You know, that one. They're all a little, you know, a little beat up. What else we got? We got Foreigner. We got Starship from the movie Mannequin. That one's kind of cool, right? With the movie there, Foreigner on that one. Berlin. Take My Breath Away. Belinda Carlisle. Heaven is a Place on Earth. You remember all these from the radio, from the 80s and 90s and whatnot. These were the ones I was looking at, to be honest. If I'm being real, the Peter Pan, Little Red Riding Hood, the creepy ass fucking Candyman. Look at the creepy. Oh man, that's what caught my eye when I first walked over. I was like, oh, what is? That's creepy. I liked it. And then Peter and the Wolf. Those were the 3 that I wanted to buy. I got a couple Survivor. Got some Whitney Houston jams in there. I want to dance with somebody. And we don't. More Whitney Houston. You get the idea. There's a whole bunch more there. I'm not going to go through the whole stack, as I said. But the other thing that caught my eye, besides there being a lot of 80s stuff in there and the crazy price, is most of them have their sleeves, which is another thing you don't see that often. Most of the time, there's just a giant stack of loose records that are terrible condition. Some of these are in not great condition, but they're mostly okay. So that was a kind of a cool hit, you know. I apologize for drinking coffee as I'm talking. I'm sure you guys want to just fast forward through most of this stuff. What's left are some video game things and some kind of like old toy things. I think I'll show you the old toy stuff first. So this was $2. I kind of knew it wasn't going to work, and it doesn't. But it may turn out being like a fun project at some point. It's a Cabbage Patch Kids radio. You can see there. I've actually had it open already, this is a stick. I mean, it's a puffy sticker. I don't know if you'll be able to tell really, but it is just stuck on there. So you have to pull that off. There's a screw underneath there, and then you just kind of take it apart. And there is a there's the board in there. It looks pretty bad. I don't know what's wrong with it. I put a battery in, kind of, sort of made a little sound, but nothing was working. I'm thinking maybe it just needs to be recapped, new capacitors. There is some, like, it could just be like old flux on there, but it looks like maybe something has exploded. The caps look okay though otherwise, so I really don't. I'd have to kind of probe around with a multimeter and check it out. I'm very bad at this, and I'm not very smart when it comes to mathematics and electronics, but I do like messing around with this stuff, so kind of a fun little project for the future maybe. And for $2, I mean, yeah, whatever. Again, not really worth much. And again, here we got a toy that is not worth a whole lot of money. This is not super old. It's from the 2000s. What was it, 2002 maybe? Yeah, 2002. It is a E.T. bendable toy from Kraft Macaroni and Cheese. Movie scene mix-up on the side. We got a little, I think you're supposed to do something with that. Kind of cut the box off and make it look like, yeah, I think you're supposed to make it look like, there it is. You're supposed to make it look like E.T. is riding in the, see that? In the basket of the bike. They wanted $4. I offered $2. They said $3. I said sure. It's worth like maybe $5 or $6 plus shipping on eBay, but it was free apparently. Maybe it came with a box of mac and cheese, like stacked with it. I like that kind of promo stuff, you know. Even though it's not from the 80s, it's still old enough at this point. It's 20 years old. It's 22 years old. All right. Those are the only old toys I got today. And like I said, next is just video game stuff. So the first stack of games here are actually not from today, not from the flea market. I hit a yard sale on Friday or Saturday, and it was pretty beat, but as I always do, I asked if they had any old Halloween stuff, old video game stuff, and the kid was like, oh yeah, I got some video games. They weren't super old, like I was hoping, but he came out with a bunch of disc games. So, and they were only asking $1 each, so I just took a bunch. We got PlayStation 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and we have another PlayStation 2 Greatest Hits, Kingdom Hearts 2. I'm probably going to keep the PlayStation 2 games because I could actually play them. I have the ability to play them. The rest of these I do not, so I'm maybe going to sell them. They are Wii games, Wii Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and a Wii U game, Mario Kart 8. So I may just sell these in a little bundle on eBay, get rid of them, make a couple bucks, get them out of my sight, save these two for myself. Probably what I'll do. Okay. This was kind of a cool, like, last-minute score. It was the same guy who was selling the records. He had a table of, like, stuff for $1. Surprisingly, this might actually be the most valuable thing that I bought today. I think this can go for as high as $25, and I got it for $1. It's a PlayStation game binder. So an old-school PlayStation game binder that had these cool little PlayStation separator in there, place for the games, and then in the very back it actually has little spots for the memory cards, I believe. I think. I don't know what else you would put there. It's got to be the memory cards. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty neat little video game adjacent find for $1. And finally, the last pieces, 3 games. Paid $1 for Hardball 3 for the Genesis. Listen, if I see a $1 Genesis game, even if it's like a sports game, I'm probably gonna buy it just because it's $1, and why not, right? Maybe a $10 game-ish, something like that. These 2 games I probably paid more than I should have for. I didn't pay more than they're worth, just paid more than I wanted to. It's actually the same guy that I bought. I think I showed you guys that Repro Genesis game I got a couple weeks ago back, few weeks back, whenever it was. Same guy. He always has really cool stuff, but he knows what everything's worth. Like today, he had full boxes, like sealed boxes of wax pack cards for Dick Tracy, Ghostbusters. I think he had a couple other cool ones, but he wants money for them, you know. And I kind of know, like, what am I going to do with that? So 2 Game Boy games. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure the cases were going to come with them either way. But when I was haggling with him, he's like, I'll throw in the cases. I was like, alright, whatever. But he had one of them listed for $9 and one of them for $10. They're kind of like barely worth that, what he was asking. Technically, if you're buying them on eBay, you could probably like get them for less, but after shipping it would be more. So he had them priced about right. I offered him $12 for both of them. Oh, what games are they? I didn't tell you what games they are. They are just Game & Watch Gallery 2 and 3. So nothing special. I mean, these are really like $6, $7 games that, unfortunately, like when you do an eBay, if you're going to buy them on eBay, shipping kind of knocks them up a little too high, which is why I went for it. I was like, well, if I want them, this will be the cheapest. But anyway, I offered $12, and he was like looking at his prices, and like I could tell he was doing math in his head. He was like, 15? I'm like, right, fine. So I paid 15 for them. It's not, you know, not terrible. I guess $7.50 a game isn't like. That's basically what, to me, that's basically what they're worth. And then these were not in the cases. The cases were separate, so maybe he was selling them separately. But he was like, and I'll throw in the cases. I'm like, all right, cool. So that was probably the most expensive thing I bought today were these Game Boy games. Everything else was pretty much like, what, $5 or less, right? That's everything. Thank you for watching. I forgive you for fast forwarding through most of that. I know you did. Look for like when I finally pull the game out or pull it, and then they stop and they look at that, and then you kind of fast forward again. That's fine. I'm the lazy motherfucker who doesn't edit this shit, so what should I expect, right? This is the way it's going. I'm gonna drink my coffee now. You guys have a great weekend. Sunday, anyway. Have a very good rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you next time, whenever that may be. Breathe deep of the night. Goodbye.